Hey everyone, this is Scott from Saving Content, and I'm here to show you Forza Horizon 3. This is the Windows 10 / PC version of the game. I'm doing this version of the game because I want to show off kind of more of the specific PC elements of the game, and it also runs a lot better than the Xbox version. The Xbox One version runs at 30 frames per second, and so the PC version can do an unlocked frame rate, but I'm locking it at 60. I've played a lot of this game in pre-release, so you're going to see some things that a lot of people won't have access to, or see things on the map that you normally wouldn't start out with. So I'm going to be getting into this SRT Viper here.
Hey Scott, I've identified another potential recruit for your lineup.
I knew she was going to say this to me, so I'm actually going to explain what that is. So you actually have the ability to hire Drivatars this time. Utilizing the system that was brought in for Forza Motorsport 5, you can now use Drivatars as part of your team. So I can actually go recruit them based on their stats. So how well you do in your game, that Drivatar will then be in somebody else's game, and they could hire you to kind of boost themselves. So let me show you the map here. So this is the Level 1 Festival here in Surfers Paradise. I just built this out, and you start all the way down here. You'll see that I have this at level 5, which is the maximum. And there are a ton of events. There's a lot out here. I also have this out to level 5, and then this one's a level 3. All this means is, this time, instead of being a nobody, you're actually a somebody. You own the festival. You control when and where things happen, how they happen, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and show off the game a little bit. I'm actually going to go after this guy right here. See what he's up to.
Arrived at your destination.
I mean, as far as like PC versus Xbox go, I mean, both of these games look amazing. There's really nothing about either version that really is a big difference.
Want to come and collect this big Lambo 4x4 thing for me?
So that's a barn find. I'm not really allowed to show any of those, so we're just going to kind of just talk about the barn finds a little briefly here, and just say that the barn finds, there are more of them this time around. There's 15, and for me personally, I feel like they have a good round selection of cars that are rare and exciting to actually find. I felt like maybe Forza Horizon 2 focused a little too hard on the Ferraris and Maseratis that I just personally didn't care for. But this time around, they have cars that appeal to me. So in that regard, I feel like the 15 barn finds here are actually something worth going for. And they're also kind of too easy to find this time too. Didn't quite expect that, but yeah, it's really kind of a bummer how easy it is to find. Okay, so actually this guy in red is a bounty, and so I'm gonna race him.
In 200 yards.
So if you have any familiarity with Forza Horizon, this is an open world racing game that, you know, goes from these closed streets to the open outback to, you know, fields and off-road racing. Well, that's just great. This is not going to go well.
In 400 yards.
I don't think I'm going to catch up to this guy. But as an open world racer, you know, you can go anywhere, do anything, how you please. Having the added notion that, you know, you're in charge of all of these events is just really cool. Having total control of the Horizon Festival is just absolutely great. All right, So I lost this, but I think I can challenge him again. Yeah, we're gonna go again. There's a reason why I'm doing this, so I'll make that apparent shortly.
200 yards. Turn left.
Assuming I can win it this time.
Turn left.
I don't know where they're going, but I'm going this way.
In 400 yards. Turn
The game's opening, which if you play the demo is exactly the same. It's rather breathtaking to see, you know, these streets just kind of open up, and like you can drive into water now. I mean, all the water is just like a foot or two deep now. I mean, you don't, if you try to go into deeper water, it just resets you. But like you can see like the water, you know, beating on the car, and as you drive into the sun, it will actually dry up. Same goes for mud. You can see it collect and things like that. So I collected the bounty on this guy, which got me a lot of money. I have some perks going. So now, because...
I knew you were doing these street races. You got another invite. I won't dob you in on one condition. Can I come and watch you wipe the floor with them?
So because I am the Forza Horizon, you know, leader, let's do a wheel spin. Because I'm the leader, I shouldn't be doing these kind of illicit street races outside of the Horizon races. So the game kind of slaps your hand over it, but it doesn't really do anything about it. You know, there's no cops, there's no, you know, there's no authority figure in this game. Like, you're not going to get in trouble, you're not going to get fined or anything like that. They just kind of let you know that, like, hey, street racing's illegal, you should know that, you probably shouldn't be doing these, but if you want to, you know, just, you better win at least, you know. I mean, that's the whole game. They want you to be having fun. They want you to just enjoy your time, just slamming a Viper across a beach. I mean,
Turn right.
you can't do that in a lot of games. At the top there, you'll see the skill chain. It's very much like Forza Horizon 2's, and less so than Forza Horizon 1's, in that you're building this experience based on what you do, whether you're speeding, whether you near miss someone, you drive in the grass, you hit trees, whatever the case may be. It's all adding up for experience to give you perk points. And perks you can spend in... Oof, there we go. Perks you can spend here. Actually, skill shop. That's what I meant. So as a festival boss, you have a tree of skills that you can spend it on. So like the first one is I unlock the drone mode, which just kind of lets you go anywhere you want and do anything you want. I've also spent it on things where I get 10% more credits from being in a club. Spent points on unlocking rare car horns, which are new to the game. You know, things like that. You know, it's very open-ended. None of it really matters. You can do just fine on your own without any perks being spent, but because they're here, it's, you know, it's just all a matter of preference. As far as skills, you know, I've invested on things where my scores are increased by 10% because I'm doing drifts, or, you know, if I'm doing wrecking, I get another 10% towards that skill. Things like that. They also have instant rewards, which are a little weird. I've barely done any of these. It's basically you just buy in and you get a ton of experience, or you get a ton of money. And this is cool if, you know, maybe you're not that great at racing, you know, and you're not placing very high, or you're not winning championships. This, I think, is kind of a nice alternative for people who just can't quite get the hang of the racing, but they like the free roam aspect and, you know, taking pictures of cars or whatever. This is nice for that. Now, you'll notice on the top of skills and festival boss, they have these like ones that are grayed out and have zeros on them. You can actually just invest into these over and over again. So these are kind of like one-off perks. So for the next 4 campaign races, you know, I can start at the front of the grid. But once that expires, the only way I can start at the front of the grid is to spend another 10 skill points. So with there not being a level cap or anything like that, you know, you can continually invest in those things to kind of further help you. You know, I don't consider these things to be cheap or anything unfair. This is strictly for your single-player career, you know, and it's all about the freedom of how you want to play, right? So they give you that, and it's great. So you'll see I actually have the perk for taking photographs, and if I hold down the photo button, I can pull out and take pictures. And any car that I haven't already taken a picture of will get added to this list, and I'll start getting payments, and then for every threshold you get a bonus. It's another nice way of making money. If, again, you know, you're not the type that can race really well, this is that type of game for you. You can make this game as punishing as you want or as easy as you want. You can have all the assists you can find in the Forza Motorsport series here in this game. I have the braking line turned on just to kind of help me when it comes to turning and just understanding stuff. I don't need the full line because I can kind of figure that part on my own. So we're heading towards one of the street races that I'm not supposed to do, but nobody's really going to stop me from doing them. And we'll see what this is all about.
You have arrived at your destination.
So we'll go ahead and enter this race. So it's synchronizing avatars that based on my skill that line up for this race. So there's kind of an even, you know, playing ground for everyone in this race. So because I drove this car here, this is actually the only car that I can use. It doesn't actually give you a chance to use anything else. So if you drove up in a Honda Civic or a Mini Cooper or something, you're going to have a street race based on those cars. On the back of my car, you'll actually notice that I have a customized license plate. This too is also new this year, and for the series as a whole. Not sure how like the content creators for Forza, you know, feel about it, because a lot of people pride themselves on making custom license plates that you could, you know, place a vinyl onto your car and, you know, have it display a Maryland plate or an Illinois plate or a Colorado plate or whatever. That is kind of gone now, and it's focusing on this being a plate for Australia. Cockpit view is the same as you'd expect. It's richly detailed here on PC. There's no field of view options for anybody who's, you know, got a wheel, so you can't like delete the wheel from this view and just have your wheel in the inside camera. But it works. I have used the wheel and it feels really good, but for me, I think I prefer the controller. Whereas Forza Motorsport, I prefer to have a wheel. This is just a little bit more laid back and less serious, so a controller just feels more natural for me. I screwed up my experience there, but I didn't have to brake very hard. And I was looking the wrong way. So if you haven't noticed already, you know, this being Australia, you need to be driving on the left side of the road. This was not so much a challenge, but it was certainly something that I had to get accustomed to for, you know, the first couple hours of the game. If you notice that, you know, the difficulty in the Drivatar is a little too lax, the game will kind of recommend, like, hey, you've been winning a lot of races pretty well. You know, you've finished a couple seconds ahead of time. You know, would you like to increase the difficulty? And it'll make those changes for you. So I am getting a huge combo here from all the things that I've been doing without wrecking. And that's just gonna, again, feed into my perk system. We won that pretty handily. So I need to win 3 more street races to unlock the Midnight Battle. The Midnight Battle is one where you will challenge an opponent, and the winner of that race gets the car. Now, if you lose, you just lose. But when you win, you get their car. We're actually going to head back to the festival and change cars.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
And winning their car is really nice. They've changed a lot about how this game works. So if you do the showcase events, you don't win the car from that showcase event anymore. And kind of taking that place is these street battles where you can win a car. This is a speed zone, so it just takes your average through 2 cameras, and that ends up being your score.
Keep right.
I've already gone through it, so I've already earned 2 stars, and if I go 44 miles per hour more, then I get the full 3 stars out of it. Some nice fireworks going on here.
Keep right. In 400 yards, turn left.
Just a stunning game. I don't know why I wanted me to turn there.
You have arrived at your destination.
This is not a copy and paste of Forza Horizon 2 or even 1. There's a whole lot new here. Go ahead and take this. There's a lot of people that will say that this game just feels a lot similar, but it's really not. They've made a lot. It's more in the subtleties of what's changed with Forza Horizon than it is kind of the larger game aspects. Yeah, being in charge of the festival is kind of a big and meaningful change. The showcase events are a whole lot better, but I feel like the campaign structure is also better. And we're going to drive out and see if we can find this Drivatar. I'm running the game at 1080p, capturing at 60 frames per second, and
In 400 yards,
I do have the frame rate counter in-game turned on, and you will see it dip. I have a GTX 1080, i7,
turn right.
32 gigs of RAM, and this game does have its issues.
Turn around when it is safe
Oh, here's a
to do
fast
so.
travel board.
Recalculating route.
You know, it's not a huge deal. I don't really ever see it go below like
Keep right.
45, 50. It stays pretty consistent between 50 and
200
60.
yards, keep left. Keep left. In 200 yards, turn right. Turn right.
Sometimes you'll find Drivatars that will just start to follow you, and that actually begins a convoy. And I'm not sure what
Turn around
actually
when it is safe to do so.
initiates that, but then you'll have Drivatars, you know, following you, and
In 100
depending on like some
yards,
perks you can purchase,
turn
you know, they'll help you find stuff while on a convoy. The convoys seem
In 100
similar
yards,
to
turn left.
the road trips in Forza Horizon 2, where you'd go from like one big section to another section. Oh man, just look at that. Look at this game. I'm sorry, just... This game is just
At the
beautiful.
roundabout, take the 4th exit.
I don't think it's happened yet, but they, you can actually
Turn around.
somewhat create a
when it is
character.
safe
You
to
pick
do so.
from a list of presets, but they'll actually call you by name based on what you choose. You can choose from a list of real names, but you can also select nicknames. So that can end up being pretty funny if you choose like Sausage.
400
You're like, hey
yards,
Sausage,
turn right.
come check out this race, you know, and it adds a flavor of personality that
Right.
surprisingly has been missing from the prior games in the Horizon games. I mean, these games are full of personality and life, and and starkly contrast that of Forza Motorsport. While I love that series dearly, it lacks a certain something in its presentation, and Horizon makes up for it in so many ways. And having them be able to call you by your name or the name of your choosing just makes it so special, and just you really feel a part of this. And you know, the past games have focused on you being a no-name nobody, that while you win this whole thing and you become the champion, it never matters. And here, like, this is where this stuff starts to matter.
In 400 yards, turn right.
So, yeah, you can go off-road. I mean, there's some trees will stop you, like some of these big, thicker trees. Like that one I can go through, these shrubs I can go through. Go through fences, so there's a lot of destructibility, but it kind of takes some learning to figure out like what you can and can't go through. So somebody is somewhere in this area, and I just need to find them. These types of Drivatars will be sticking to the roads, so I just need to find them. Oh, that's a solid tree. So the sun's coming back up already. There's, the full day to night cycle. There will be times where it rains. Being out here in the outback, it'll get like hazy. In the rainforest, it gets really foggy. Does some really cool stuff. All right, if I don't find this guy, I'm gonna just move on. We're just gonna move on. So I'm gonna start an exhibition race.
When it is safe to do so.
Races have like 3 tiers to them. There's the exhibition, there's a championship, and then there's rivals. Exhibition is just kind of a one-time race that you do. Oh, there he is. Well, too late. See ya. Championship is obviously just a series of races, and then rivals just lets you challenge your friends' Drivatars and try to do better than them on the time on that specific course. So I could follow this road and go around, but why would you? Just why? When you can do this. This is a drift zone. Since I got into it like 3/4 of the way, it's not going to initiate anything. They are the most difficult challenges that I've come across. So on this trail, in any trail for that matter, there's the official Horizon Presents, or you can do a blueprint exhibition. Now, if other people who have the game have created blueprints, you'll actually see the blueprints to the right. It doesn't seem like anybody's done it for this track yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold a different kind of event. I can tailor it to be the specific car that I'm driving, Japanese steel, modern rally, 2000s. So I'm actually going to set it to the 2000s. Car themes, we'll make it 80s. We'll just go with that. So now we have an event that I am presenting. And so we'll pick from the 80s. This is a really good rally car, since it's a trail. I'm got this game installed on a normal hard drive. It's not on an SSD. It does load relatively quickly, but I think one thing to note is that unless you turn the option off, this game is crossplay. So you will be playing with people on Xboxes who traditionally will have a normal hard drive installed. So while you may load faster than everybody else, you're still gonna have to wait. So I don't really have a major recommendation of having this installed on an SSD over a hard drive, honestly. So here's what I was talking about the haze, being out here in the desert. The game will give you your combo so long as you don't hit something or someone too hard. If you tap something, you kind of actually get a bonus just for tapping it. So by creating these blueprint races, you can effectively just create the type of race you want to do. If, you know, racing SUVs is not your thing, if racing cars from the 60s is not your thing, or, you know, what have you, if just whatever is not your thing that the default race is for, you can just create a blueprint and make the game work for you. It's again furthering that personality and customization that tailor to your wants and needs. And this is what really sets it apart from the prior games, is all of this customization, all of the personalization. It's just unlike anything else. Races are fun. They're a lot like this, you know, they'll go from street to dirt to back to street or whatever. Some of them are laps. This one's a point to point. There's not much variety in that aspect. I mean, racing's racing, right? I mean, there's no drag strips or anything like that, but there's plenty of open road to really top out a car. See how fast it goes. So if you go around these checkpoints too far, let me show you. It'll show that you missed it. I might have actually hit it, so it counted. But it'll ask you that you missed a checkpoint, and you can use the rewind feature to kind of fix your mistake. So because I goofed around that turn, I might lose this race. So I earned another wheel spin, so we'll see if we get something nice. There we go. So this fan thing, there's certain thresholds for how you can expand. So at that next threshold, I'll actually be able to expand, you know, one of the festivals that I haven't expanded yet. So I can make this a level 4, or I can go all the way over here and make this a level 2. If I didn't have all 4 of the locations, there's another threshold for actually building a new location. Things like that. So I'm going to show you one of the showcase events, just because it's nearby. Can't recall if I'm supposed to show these or not, but these are really fun, and this isn't one of the best ones, so this will be okay. This is a fun game. I mean, just whether you want to, you know, like listen to a podcast and just drive around, discover all the roads, or even just, you know, do these races. You know, it's just one of those relaxing games that like never feels frustrating or stressful. Like I lost that last race, but I don't care. I will happily go back and replay that race. I may use the blueprint I created for it, or I might just use the default one again.
400 yards. Turn right.
For the first time, you can actually do campaign co-op, which I haven't been able to experience just because, you know, it's still somewhat pre-release as of today. If you bought the Ultimate Edition of the game, you actually get access today, but you can do campaign co-op, so go through all these campaign races together and just be with your friends, because that's what's been the hardest part about the prior games, is there was such a separation between single player and multiplayer. And while the multiplayer still exists, you know, it's not that divided line anymore. especially including the campaign co-op.
It's a freight train. Brilliant.
So let's
isn't
race
it?
a train in this
Word
Camaro,
warning,
right?
though. The course we designed crosses the tracks. I want to get to those bits before it does. Right on time. You ready for this?
This is one fast train. I have never seen a train move this fast ever in my life. At least from like that standstill it was at. So, Playground Games has kind of learned from their past. A lot of these showcase events kind of repeat themselves, but they do it with such style now. Like you've raced a train before in the previous games, but not like that. It doesn't look that good. It doesn't feel that close. And this is one of the this is actually one of the better ones, but not the best one. But this one makes you feel like you are neck and neck with a train. There's certainly been a couple where I feel like I've completely dominated it and it just didn't feel challenging at all. This game likes to go off-road a lot, and that's fine. Ooh, that didn't happen to me before. Caught the edge of my tire on that. That's okay. There is music in this game. I've just had it turned off. You have your Pulse, your Base Arena, and the new Block Party, which is a pretty awesome one. See, I missed checkpoints, and I'm gonna go back because I was looking at the radio too much. But there's, Vagrant Records, Epitaph Records, Hospital's back, Future Classic, Timeless, which is your classical music. If you have groove music, you can actually play your music back. I don't have anything tied into this, so it's not working for me. Let's race with some music now. So I may have lost this race because of that, of hitting that tire on the train earlier, but we'll see what happens. But again, like, this would be a car I would love to win, but when I win this event, I don't get this car, so yeah, I think it's gonna beat me there. Oh, maybe not. Yep, edged it out. Look at that.
You'd be a terrible train driver. You're early.
She's right. But not for that reason. So I didn't get any new fans because I'm replaying that race. And that's just about it for Forza Horizon 3. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of fun to be had. It looks gorgeous. It's one of the first Play Anywhere titles, so if you buy it on Xbox, you can play it on Windows 10 and vice versa. There's crossplay, so if you have friends on Xbox but you want to play on PC, like that works. This is a bigger, better, more badass Forza Horizon, and I can't recommend it enough. It's definitely a contender for Racing Game of the Year and Game of the Year. I think this is one of the best you'll find. There's a lot of customization to do and have, and I honestly just cannot stop playing this game. Thank you for taking a look at Forza Horizon 3 with me.